Welcome back, witches and wanderers, to the Morbid Witch Podcast. I'm your host, Kari, and tonight we're heading into the heart of winter, into a land of snowbound peaks, frozen silence, and something ancient that still stirs beneath the ice. In the high, treacherous passes of the Caucasus Mountains, the Vainakh people once whispered of a goddess, both beautiful and deadly, a being of blizzards and avalanches, a mother of storms. Her name was Dartsa-Naana, the White Mother, the mistress of winter's wrath. She could freeze a man where he stood, or grant safe passage to those who honored her. So wrap yourself in a blanket, light a candle, and listen closely, because tonight we walk into the storm. The Caucasus Mountains stretch between the Black Sea and the Caspian. Their peaks sharp as blades, their winters merciless. For the Vainakh people, the ancestors of modern-day Chechens and Ingush, these mountains were home, protector, and predator all at once. In the endless white silence of winter, survival meant respect. Every gust of wind, every falling flake of snow carried the breath of a spirit, and among those spirits, none were more feared or revered than Dartsa-Naana. Her name carries two meanings: Dartsa, the blizzard, and Naana, the mother. To the Vainakh, she was the mother of storms, a radiant yet terrible figure cloaked in frost. They said her skin was as pale as snowdrift. Her eyes shone blue like ice over a frozen lake. Her hair streamed behind her in whirling gusts of wind. Wherever she danced, avalanches followed. To speak her name lightly was forbidden. To mock the snow or curse the storm was to invite her wrath. For Dartsa-Naana's patience was as thin as the air atop her mountains. She watched from the peaks, waiting to see who would honor her domain and who would forget. Legends of Dartsa-Naana were passed down through the long winters, told around fires that crackled while the snow piled outside. One speaks of the lost hunters. A group of men from a mountain village ignored the warnings of their elders and ventured into the pass during a blizzard. They laughed at the wind, mocking Dartsa-Naana's power. When they didn't return, a search party went out. What they found chilled them to the bone. The hunters sat in a perfect circle, faces serene, eyes open, frozen solid, untouched by decay. Around them, no footprints, no sign of struggle. Only a perfect, smooth ring in the snow, as if Dartsa-Naana herself had walked around them before sealing their fates. Another legend tells of the avalanche bride, a young woman named Zarima, was said to be married during a heavy snowfall. The elders urged her to postpone, to let the storm pass, but Sarima refused. She wanted her wedding to be bright and white, like the goddess herself. As she danced on the mountainside, snow began to fall faster, thicker. The wind screamed like a woman's voice. Then, without warning, the entire slope gave way, roaring wave of white that swallowed the bride, her guests, and the music in one terrible instant. To this day, villagers say that during winter weddings, if the wind howls through the trees, it's Sarima's dance, and Dartsa-Naana watching, waiting. But not all of her tales end in death. Travelers who left offerings of milk, bread, and silver before crossing the mountain passes were said to be protected. The snow would soften under their feet, the wind would shift behind their backs, and a strange warmth would follow them through the night. For Dartsa-Naana was not evil. She was balance, mercy and punishment in equal measure. The Vainakh people lived in constant dialogue with nature. Their gods and spirits were not distant. They were the mountains, the forests, the storms themselves. Dartsa-Naana belonged to a pantheon of powerful female spirits. Tusholi, the goddess of fertility and cattle, Sila, the guardian of hunters, and Dartsa-Naana, the embodiment of winter's might. When the first snow of the season fell, families would light fires outside their homes and pour warm milk into the flames as an offering. They whispered prayers to Dartsa-Naana, asking her to be kind, to keep the roads clear, to spare their livestock, to watch over their children. In the deepest winters, travelers carried charms of silver and bone carved with spirals, symbols said to mimic the wind's motion, pleasing the goddess. To the Vainakh, snow was both blessing and curse. It brought water and purity, but also death and silence. Dartsa-Naana represented that duality, a reminder that nature demands humility. And perhaps that's why her worship carried a sense of awe rather than devotion. You didn't pray to Dartsa-Naana for love or wealth. You prayed to survive her. Though her name is rarely spoken today, Dartsa-Naana's spirit lingers in the folklore of the Caucasus. Elders still warn children not to mock the storm when blizzards rise suddenly and snow blinds the mountain roads. They say, "The mother of blizzards walks tonight." Her stories echo others across the world. The Norse goddess Skadi, who hunted among the mountains. The Slavic Marana, who brought winter and death. The Celtic Cailleach, who built the mountains with her icy hammer. Each of them, in their own way, remind humanity that winter is not merely a season. It's a force, alive, eternal, sentient. For the Vainakh, Dartsa-Naana was not just myth. She was the storm itself, and even now, in those high, silent ranges between the seas, when the snow begins to fall and the wind begins to wail through the passes, some still leave a small bowl of milk by the fire, just in case the White Mother is watching. You've been listening to the Morbid Witch Podcast. Tonight, we've walked among the peaks of the Caucasus, through snow and silence, guided by the spirit of Dartsa-Naana, the goddess of blizzards, the mother of avalanches, and the winter that never forgets. If you enjoy these journeys into the strange and the sacred, be sure to follow the Morbid Witch Podcast on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram for more stories of gods, ghosts, and the dark side of myth. Until next time, stay strange, stay spooky, and remember, the shadows are always watching.